Hey everybody, Sherri here again with Operation Successful Transition and our resident lender partner, milynda.hallermann. How are you doing,
Howdy.
Linda? We are dressed up in our red for Christmas. Yeah, you guys all ready for Christmas? Got your tree up and your presents all bought?
We have the tree up. The presents all bought. I will say no, but we have some of the presents bought. So we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah. Well, I told you I can't have a tree because I have a boy dog that thinks it's an outhouse in-house. So I've got a few gifts bought myself, but I'm still trying to get wish lists from people that I don't live with. And I have no idea. So
We're running into that. It's funny that we're running into that same thing with you. It's hard to buy them something if you don't know what they want.
yeah, yeah, it's rough, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We usually do a big, like my girls and I put together a big saran wrap ball for the family with just dollar store stuff and office
Yes.
stuff like that. And that's a big, um, I was trying to shift things over to doing fun things rather than
Mhm.
gift giving with the big family.
Yep.
It's time spent together, and that's really what's important. And
Yep.
um,
Oh, yes, and I've done that at parties before, and it is a blast. And like you have to do it in gloves or something to get it all unwrapped. Yeah, I've done one of those before.
yeah, we kind of bend the rules. We have some people with, arthritis hands and stuff like that.
Mhm.
My mom gets like so into it, and it's so fun to see her. It's like, Nana, we got doubles. You have to stop now. And she's like, it's really fun. Anyway, that's just it's so worth it to see everybody get all
Yeah.
and having a good time. So we do that every year and have a good time with it. But anyway, back to the market in Bryan College Station, the real estate market.
Yeah.
So, what is new in the world of lending in Bryan College Station for mortgages right now?
What is new is not a lot. Not a lot is
Yeah.
new. I think just like the rest of the real estate world, we are looking forward to the new year. This is historically a very slow time for us. And it's I'm moderately surprised that I've got several transactions closing in December, more than I expected, but it's a slow time. And I think it's a slow time for everybody because at this point, buyers and sellers are both in get through Christmas mode. And now we're going to have a new administration coming in January, and that is further kind of putting a lot of buyers in a holding pattern to wait and see what happens after that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of slow, but kind of not. I mean, I'm pretty busy. I just had 2 listings go live last week. I've got
Mhm.
contracts pending, contracts in, new builds happening, things like that. So,
Yeah, I've got my stuff. Yes, all our my stuff in the pipeline has been going. I've past couple weeks there's been a little dip in inquiries. I'm still getting them, but not as much because I think people have holidays on the brain.
true. Yeah. Then we just got through the Thanksgiving week. That was a little bit slower, but,
Yeah.
I think it's just, I don't know, whatever. I'll count myself blessed that I have business. I'm very
Yes.
grateful for every single bit of it that I do get. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about the numbers for
Right.
November. November had a couple of big things happen we had the election, which
Hmm.
but that was something that loomed over everybody forever. And people act like the world's going to drop on election day, but
Every year. Yeah, every time.
it
Yep.
never does. It didn't. And so we're all still here. Election day and then Thanksgiving week. So a couple of things that usually kind of put a little hitch in the get along.
Hmm.
So in Bryan last month in November, there were 71 houses sold, and in College Station, there were 104 sold. So that's quite a bit of difference in the number of homes that were sold. Right now, today, there are 462 listings in Bryan. This is all the residential, anything residential.
Okay.
427 active in College Station. Bryan has pending 112 and College Station has pending 108. So that's pretty similar.
Yeah.
The average days on market in Bryan is 123. So I think things have slowed down a little bit in Bryan. When you look at the active listings and the number that are being sold, we can calculate out the I'm blanking out on the word absorption rate. That's what it is.
Uh-huh.
Losing
Yep.
my mind these days. The absorption rate, and we have about 6.5 months of inventory going by the numbers that I pulled up today. That's the
Mhm.
sales in November and the active listings that we have now. It would take
Mhm.
6.5 months to sell those. What that means is that's balanced to just about buyer's market there in Bryan. So things have
Mhm.
slowed down a little bit.
So
Hopefully,
that's an interesting change. Yep.
yeah, we haven't had any anything close to that for years now. It's been a while.
Uh-huh.
But hopefully in the spring things will turn around and pick back up. Hopefully we'll see some of these rumored rate drops that were they keep circling around to tease everybody a little bit. But College
We could like
Station,
that, yes.
yeah, if we look at College Station's absorption rate, it's 4.1. So it's
Mhm.
not as intense of a seller's market as it was, but it still is technically a seller's market heading toward balanced. So
Mhm.
things are still good. There's nothing that's drastic or nothing that's terrible that's
No.
going on. It's just kind of the normal slowdown for this time of year, plus election year, plus inflation, plus rates and all that. But I really feel optimistic about next year. Things that I've heard, I've said that 2025 is going to be a big year in real estate, and I just have a good feeling. I think it's going to keep.
I agree. I think that there has been post-pandemic and post-rate hike when rates went up after the pandemic. There has been a whole lot of apprehension with buyers and people just basically freezing their lives and going into a holding pattern and waiting and waiting and waiting. And I do think that 25 is going to be the year that people quit waiting. Because there's only so long you can put your life on pause, waiting to see what is going to happen with the housing market. And so now we've had the election. We're at the end of the year. We're going to see if rates go down a little bit at the beginning of the year. That's the hope. But even if rates pretty much stay in a holding pattern or just go down a little bit, I think that you are going to see a lot of that pent up demand bust loose.
Yeah.
And people go ahead and make that move that they've been hesitant to do.
Yeah. But this year we've had a lot of people who had to move anyway for work or for
Mhm.
whatever life situation. But we've also had some early adopters and people who see the light that now's a
Yes,
super time to buy than in the future will be, because we are still appreciating. Levels are
yes.
going up to maybe 4 to 5%. I see different percentage predictions for the coming year that it'll be
Mhm.
4% appreciation or 5%. That's
Yep.
still value going up. So it's still going to be more expensive as time goes. And when we keep saying this, when the pent up demand gets released, if rates do come
Mhm.
down, then it's going to bring all these buyers into the market and it's going to drive prices up again. So then we'll be
Yes.
to a seller's market having to bid more than the asking price. Prices are going to go up, and it's just a repeating cycle. So keep things level, buy it now. It's cheaper. It's going to be, even if you
Right.
have a higher rate, that's easier to change than, to save you money than it is to come up with an extra 50 grand because the house price has gone up and you have to pay more on your down payment.
Exactly. Exactly. Especially because there's a value to getting to live your new life now, to go ahead and get to move into the house and start to live your new life and enjoy your new home. When you combine that with the value of you're locking in that price at the lower price, we can lower the rate later because
Right.
rates, I'm sure, will go down at some point, but waiting for the rate to go down while the price goes up, like you said, it's not a good strategy.
Yeah.
It's not. So,
Penny, penny
like,
wise, penny wise and dollar foolish, right?
yes, and I think it's that fear. It's that fear. People are too focused on rates and not focused enough on prices, because rates are always discussed in the news, even if it is the just like the Fed rate. And people also don't understand that the Fed rate that you hear talked about on the news is not directly correlated to what mortgage interest rates are going to do.
Right.
And it has always kind of been the general thought that if you see the Fed rate drop a little bit, then you're going to see mortgage rates drop too. And we've gotten to see recently that that's not always true. One of those last Fed rate drops we had, mortgage rates bumped up a little bit from that. So I think it's just a lot of media focus on rates puts their attention in the wrong direction. So
I'm reading a book, and this is just a fascinating book. I'm getting more out of it than a lot of books I've read lately. It's called Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, and it talks a lot about social proof. So we see people waiting and talking about waiting, and the news is talking about the high rates, and so we have all this social proof that people are waiting until the rates go down. But
Yep.
listen to your expert realtors and your expert lenders.
Yes.
It's a better time to buy. Well, right now, while everybody's waiting, you have more to pick from, especially in Bryan.
Yes.
You have
Yes.
more.
And now you're going to have a little more negotiating power in Bryan too. And the fact is, once you
Exactly.
get that price locked, you've got that price locked in. You can change the rate later.
Yeah.
You are
Even
not tied into that mortgage. But if that's the home you want, there is a certain value to getting to live in the home that you want to be in. And you need to factor that into the equation as well.
Exactly. And you hit on a big nugget right there with the 6.5 months of inventory headed towards that buyer's market. That means more negotiability.
Yes.
More potential for getting some of your closing costs covered, for getting that buyer's agent compensation covered for sure. Maybe getting, more repairs done, or, rate buy downs, things like that. Having, getting home warranties, all the things that you would normally forego in a big seller's market. You can start asking for these things and adding them back in. So be sure you get a good negotiator on your side when you are putting in an offer, so you can get as much bang for the buck as you can.
Absolutely. This is when you need to have a realtor who's good at her job.
Yeah. A master certified negotiation expert, right?
Yeah.
So, I think did we talk about days on market? Days on market in Bryan are 123. That's really long. That's longer than we've seen in a while. College Station's at 95. I think that's kind of where things have been floating for a little bit of time. But that 123 gets more up like the kind of outlying counties in the Brazos Valley. They've had like longer days on market for a while. It's been buyer's market I know Burleson County. I've been out there looking with some clients. It's finally starting to get break and look a little bit better out there. It's headed back towards balance instead of being such a buyer's market. So interesting times we're in.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
yeah. So we are working on. Milynda's going to be taking part with me in an event that I am working with the Brazos Valley Veteran Services Office.
Yes.
To put on President's Day in February. And this is going to be a Veterans Resource Fair and Claims Clinic. So what it's going to be is a row of Veteran Service Officers, VSOs, who will be there to help people actually file claims while we're at the event. And then 60 to 80 booths where Milynda and I will be, and hopefully we'll be next to our friend Shay Jacoponelli with the Small Business Development Corp. We're going to have booths there and do a presentation. We'll do kind of like a buyer seminar and talk about VA loans and things like that at the event. But yeah, 60 to 80 vendors that are all about veterans, for veterans, by veterans, veteran entrepreneurs. Just a big fun veteran day to file claims and see all these vendors and learn about all the products that are out there for you. And we're going to have a blood drive out in the parking lot. So we need at least 30 people to commit to donating blood. Well, 29. I committed to donating. I'll be eligible.
I'll donate that day too. So
okay. So we got 2. So we only need 28 more people to donate blood. But super excited about this. It's going to be at the Brazos Center. It's going to be from 12 to 5. So, and it's free admission, free to come in. Filing your claims with the VSOs will be free. It's just free. So we look forward to having everybody come on down and enjoy the day with us.
I think it's going to be awesome. I'm so excited that you're doing this. I am thrilled to be a part of it. I went to a veteran resource fair in San Antonio in October, and I think that this stands to be a very comparable event, especially for our first time at this. It's going to be pretty awesome. Just the variety of services and just things that people may not know about that are going to be there. Plus the opportunity to get their claims looked at.
Yeah.
Because Pam Robertson is really good at looking at claims. So
we have Pam plus the VSOs from the counties around us coming in. So we're going to have a whole row of VSOs there to help you. So I'm just like beyond excited about this. I have friends who did it in Biloxi, Mississippi. Expected 30 to 40 people, and hundreds of people came. They were lined up out the door down the street, So I'm super excited about this. We have the largest veteran population, right? For especially for a community that does not have a military base. We have the largest concentration of veterans in our area here in Bryan College Station. In the country, right?
In the entire country that is not associated with a VA hospital or a base. We've got highest per capita veteran population. Yeah. Pretty amazing. Yep.
Pam was saying this morning, we have 9,300 veterans just in Brazos County. That's not including the other counties in the Brazos Valley. So that's a lot of people. So
super, super exciting. I think that, I think that hopefully this is the first. This is not the Veteran Resource Fair. This is the first annual.
Exactly. Yeah. And just to let you guys know, after the the resource fair, Melinda and I are going to do a financial challenge week that'll cover, we're still working on everything that we're going to cover, but it'll be like credit repair and how to save on taxes and how to budget for a down payment and things like that. We're going to have a week-long challenge that'll be a call a day, and we'll go over all the things you need to do to get your credit cleaned up and get some money saved up so you can buy a house and get moved in. So that'll be coming late February, early March. And then in March is Stake Your Support, right? That's another big veteran event.
March 29th. Yeah. And I think you and I will be doing maybe more than one podcast about that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Now and then as we get closer to that. And I think the challenge that Sherri and I will be doing is going to be pretty awesome. I just got Credit Smart certified with Freddie Mac. So I will actually have legit Freddie Mac resources to talk about getting ready for home buying. Plus all the other things that we want to talk about. It's a new year and it's a new opportunity to get your financial house in order, both to buy a house and just to have your stuff all together, So I think that it's going to be a really good series. Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, I think so too. We have a veteran CPA in mind to request to come on to help us with ways to save on income taxes. That's always a valuable lesson to have. And there are certain benefits that are available to veterans to help you save on taxes, like property taxes, at least. So we'll find out all the ins and outs we can and what's available to veterans in that regard from a CPA.
Yes. And I know that he's a Marine, the person I'm thinking of, and he is also a small business specialist. So whether you run your own business or you have a side gig that you have some 1099 income, I think that hopefully he'll have some good information for if you just fit in the little W-2 box. If you've got some other types of income going on, he'll be able to help us with that too.
Yeah, there are a lot of, excuse me, I've got some kind of fuzz in my nose today. There are a lot of entrepreneurs here in the area, whether it's a side gig or it's a full-time gig. I think there are a lot of families that it may have one person working at the university so they get the health benefits, and then the rest of the families doing some kind of thing on the side, or just people who are just plain old entrepreneurs. And that's a big different consideration when you're going to a mortgage, right? You have to produce a couple of years worth of your income tax returns. And normally when we're doing our taxes, we try to reduce the amount of tax we pay. But we have to correct that for a few years ahead of time if we're thinking about buying a house, because we want to show the right income to get the house that we need, unless you want to try to qualify with that reduced income, which is fine to do as well. But it kind of bites you, if you're trying to save on taxes. Yeah.
Buying a house is the one instance where deducting everything you can is not a good planning strategy. But and that's something that we'll talk about. We can talk about it with him, but it's something that you want to look at as early as possible, because it's pretty much 2 years of tax returns. So
so we'll do some extra advertising besides just this, but stay tuned and pay attention for the dates on the challenge. We're super excited. We don't want to give away all the dirt on it right yet. And for the resource fair and the claims clinic, and for Claim Your Support too. Claim Your Support is an event that's held by Brazos Valley Cares, which Melinda's on the board. I'm not on the board yet, but so I tag along with her on this one. And
you were a huge help.
This the Brazos Valley Cares big fundraiser, right? Tell us about
that's 90% of our funding in one night. Honestly, it's 90% of our funding, and it is a big night of steaks and cigars, and we have some really exciting first time things coming up this year, trying to keep it new, keep it fresh. We've added some entertainment this year.
Nice.
So that is coming right up, and that is always a good time. And it is just a huge night to show appreciation for our Brazos Valley veterans. Really is.
Yeah. And the Brazos Valley Cares, in case you guys don't know, they raise money to support veterans who need a helping hand from time to time, right? If they need a utility bill paid, or a car payment, or a car repair, or if they're just things, if you're down on your luck and you need a little help, call Brazos Valley Cares. We just y'all just had your ribbon cutting, correct, this week?
Yes, we did. It went great. We're not new, but it never hurts to have a ribbon cutting and kind of reintroduce yourselves. And that's what we did with the Chamber of Commerce. And we had a really good turnout for that. And it just gives us time another time to remind the community of what we do. And it is, Sherri, like you said, it is immediate funding of emergent needs, and things like fixing a car so you can get to work, paying mortgage, paying rent if some crisis happens and there's not enough food for groceries, that kind of thing. We also have another initiative that looks at veteran mental health. And whether that is our PTSD specialist that comes in every year for intensive sessions, or if it's marital counseling, something like that, and the veteran and the spouse or the veteran needs to talk to somebody about things, we've got local options and telehealth options for that. So we really want to address mental health concerns kind of with a holistic approach and several options there too. So it is all about giving immediate help, real help to Brazos Valley veterans. And if it's not something we do, we've got such a network that we can probably give a referral and get that veteran connected with who could help them.
Right.
So yeah, that's our primary mission.
Yeah, Amanda Fleming is the director of the board. Is that her title?
She's chairman of the board.
Chairman of the board. Okay. She gave an interesting statistic that y'all have done $1.5 million worth of help. Was that what the number was?
I don't doubt that. I
think
because
that's
we're about 10 years old. We're about 10 years old. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good amount of money supporting our local veterans. And
it is 100% volunteer run. So every dollar that's donated actually goes to veterans.
Right. And there's no overhead. The ribbon cutting is just a figurative thing. There's not an office that you guys have, right?
Right. There's not an office. Like I said, we are a very lean ship. We are a veteran run organization. We want all of the money possible going for the actual assistance.
Yeah. That's awesome. So glad you guys are here and doing the service that you provide. It's amazing. I think, well, that covers like the first quarter of the year. That's a lot of exciting events that are coming up, and I'm stoked about every one of them.
We're going to be some busy women.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming on today. I appreciate you. I know you are super busy. It's a busy time of year too, even though it seems like business is down. We are both running around doing all the things. So.
Both still closing deals. So yes, hallelujah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will talk to you next time.
Okay, Sherri, I'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.